Hey folks, welcome back to Pine Ridge Homestead. I thank you all for watching today. I'll make you a little video today about raising rabbits. I recently made a video, got a lot of views, so I figured I'd give you a little bit more of a lesson on raising rabbits today. I'm out here in my rabbitry, which is made of 2 cattle panels curved over like that. And it's really easy to build if you want to make one for yourself. All you need is 2 cattle panels, 2 10-foot 2x4s, and 2 8-foot 2x4s. And you can have this set up like I have right here. The cattle panels cost you somewhere around $35 a piece, depending on where you get them. The 2x4s are pretty cheap, and you can even use regular non-treated wood for the base of this if you want it to last just a few years, and you can fix it later if it rots out or if you get any bugs in there or something like that. Or you can go ahead and spend a couple extra dollars and get pressure treated wood from your local lumber yard. I'm holding my new buck that I got over the weekend here. Bought this little guy from a new friend of mine named Ernie. I wanted to have a new buck out here so I could have some crossbreeding going on. He's a nice big meaty buck there. So my original breeders I have 3 females and 1 male. I showed you in my last video if you want to look that previous video up. Well, now I've been raising some of their youngins out here in the rabbitry for breeding purposes, so I don't want to rebreed the kids when they're grown up with the dad. So I've got this little guy right here, and he's going to be our new breeder for all the offspring of the original set. So I'll keep all the cages labeled with what litters they come out of, so I'll be able to go back and forth with the bucks, make sure they're not inbred. That just ensures some healthy rabbits. We like to have healthy animals here at Pine Ridge Homestead. Right now I've got a couple too many rabbits in this rabbitry, but I did order some new cages. I got them off of Amazon. I'm going to post the links below, and I'll show you the cages in the next few days as soon as they show up. And I'll also show the process of adding 2 more cattle panels to this rabbitry to extend the rabbitry back this way for another 6 cages. Right now I have 6 cages in the rabbitry with way too many rabbits in them, but some of the rabbits are really small, so that way when I get these new cages going, I'll be able to separate them out and they'll have a lot of room. They'll be nice and cozy. Some of the benefits of raising rabbits is you can provide yourself with an additional income with these little guys. A lot of people like to get them for pets. My breeders are basically pets to me. We like to come out here and hang out with them and pet them and just enjoy them being out here. So there's a lot of benefits from having your own livestock on your homestead. Rabbits being included. Pound for pound, it's arguable that rabbits are the best homestead animal ever. And I'll tell you some reasons why I think they are one of the best homestead animals ever. These little guys right here, you can raise in cages in a simple, very simple shelter like this with minimal cost of starting up. You're going to need some 2x4s and cattle panels, like I said. And you're going to need a few cages and a couple rabbits. The rabbits you can find cheap. There's groups on Facebook. There's local rabbit groups. I'm sure if you get on your Facebook and search for rabbit groups, you'll find one near you. And people will be selling rabbits just like this for a pretty cheap price. And keep in mind when you're buying your rabbits, if you buy more than a couple rabbits from somebody, you're going to get an even lower price because they'd like to sell you more than one at a time. Those rabbits multiply pretty fast, so if somebody's not breeding them for meat purposes, they may want to sell off a lot of those offspring to recoup some of their feed costs and to get other people started in rabbits or provide them to people as pets. So rabbits are really friendly. Most of the time you don't got to worry about them biting you or anything like that. So you can handle them. The more you handle them, the better, because then they'll be nice and calm like this guy here. Now old Ernie handled this guy a lot. So this is a nice and friendly rabbit. My other ones are pretty friendly too. When it comes to your cages, any kind of rabbit cage will get you started. When you first set up your rabbitry, you may have some simple setup, and then you may move on to a different type of cage later. You find one that you like better, or you may want to make your own cages, which there's options to do that too, and I'm sure there's a lot of videos on YouTube showing you that. When you get your rabbits, I recommend a larger feeding bin like this one here. This one I bought at Tractor Supply, but I've since found these a lot cheaper on Amazon. And again, I'll have the links posted below in this video if you want to buy your own rabbit feeders like this. You won't have to fill them up so often. I like to have a large feed bin like this one here. So that way I only have to fill them up about once a day or once every other day. I just come in here and check them and see how much feed I'm going through. Fill them up as necessary. When it comes to your waters, you can get regular waters like this. You can get these anywhere like Tractor Supply, Rural King, or other stores, PetSmart, stuff like that. Or I've found even better waters, again, on Amazon. The link will be down below if you'd like to purchase them, and they're going to be much cheaper and better quality than probably the one you're going to go find at the store. And they're going to be about twice the size. So in the summer months when it's real hot and your rabbits are drinking a lot of water, you're not going to have to refill your waterers multiple times in a day, because I've ran into that before in the past. A lot of people also like to free feed their rabbits hay, so that way they use less feed pellets. That's a good way to keep your rabbits busy eating, because rabbits are a grazing animal, so they like to eat throughout the day. So I found some good hay racks that you can hang in your cage and put the hay down in there so your rabbits can free feed on hay. Bales of hay are really cheap. You can find them locally to you. Check Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, ads like that. You can find hay real cheap. Keep the hay feeders inside your rabbit cages so your rabbits can eat on that hay. Now the only downside that I found free feeding hay is hay can contain mites. So you'll have to check your rabbit's ears periodically. And when I purchased these rabbits here, I looked at them and I knew that they'd be nice breeding stock. That's why I went ahead and purchased them. They looked real healthy and real active and calm. So I knew they were good rabbits. So whenever you're going to go purchase your rabbits, just look at them real good. If their ears look real crusty, you may want to avoid getting them. If they look real dirty and nasty, like their cage conditions aren't that good, you may want to also reconsider if you want to purchase those rabbits. All my rabbits have came from good people, and I haven't had a problem with getting any sickly rabbits, and they all look good. We did recently have ear mites in our rabbits that we found real early when we seen the signs of them. We treated them real easy. All you have to do is put some vegetable oil in their ears, and the ear mite problem will solve itself in a few days. Something about the oil smothers out the ear mites, and it gets rid of them really fast. So rabbits are one of the easiest animals to have on your homestead, and it is the first recommended animal by me when you start off homesteading, because they're so easy to keep contained. All you need is cages and a simple shelter, or you can build some kind of hutch structure outside and keep them outside. I prefer this type of method. In the summertime, I can open up this back here and I can let the air flow through here. If I wanted to, if it was real hot, I could hang me a little fan up here with an extension cord, and I could have a nice breeze going through this rabbitry to keep my animals nice and cool in the summertime. It won't cost me much at all. Rabbits are real cold hardy animals, so you don't really have to worry about them in the winter time. I keep my animals out here and they do just fine. I'm in Northeast Tennessee, so we don't get too crazy winters, but it did get pretty cold for a little while and they did just fine. And I know a lot of people in the northern climates keep their rabbits outside in hutches and they do just fine as well. When you get your rabbits, if you put a male and a female together, you can expect that you'll have a litter of rabbits within about 4 weeks. So you need to consider if you want to have rabbits, baby rabbits, that soon on your homestead, because you'll have to keep in mind that you'll have to provide more cages in areas for these rabbits to live while you're raising them. I recommend you get you a nesting box. If you are going to breed your rabbits, you can get nesting boxes like this at your local farm store. Or again, I found them on Amazon and I'll provide a link down below for you if you'd like to purchase a nesting box. When it comes to nesting boxes, if you have more than one doe, you could set a schedule where you're only breeding one every so often, so you can reuse. Let's say if you have 2 nesting boxes, you can reuse them between your different does if you have an offset schedule for your breeding. If you want to get very simple, you can find a bucket similar to this. This is a cat litter bucket. You can take part of the lid off, put some hay in there, some straw, and the rabbits will have their little ones in there. If you're using a standard rabbit cage and you're going to be breeding your rabbits, you may want to line the inside of your rabbit cage with some hardware cloth that has the really small holes. Normal cages have pretty big gaps in them. They're made for large rabbits, and your little babies can roll out of the cage and they'll end up on the floor of your rabbitry, and then they could perish from harsh conditions or not being able to feed off their mom. You don't want anything to happen like that while you're away from your homestead during the day. If you have to leave your job or something, you're not there to keep an eye on them. You want to make sure you have your cages prepared for your breeding, so that way you can have a successful breeding. When you have your little baby rabbits, you want to check them after they're born. Make sure there isn't any dead rabbits in there in the nest. And if there is, you need to remove those out of there. That's my recommendation for you. Just go ahead and get those out of there. You don't want them to rot inside the nest and cause sickness or anything to any of the rabbits. So we went over the waters. We went over the feeders. Basic cage setup. If you want to build you a little rabbitry hut like this one, it's super easy. You can build this within a half an hour. Throw your tarp over it and get started with your rabbitry. The first thing you need to do when you start thinking about getting rabbits is go ahead and get started on your rabbitry building, which could be simple like this one. Go ahead and just get started. If you don't got enough money to get started with buying the cattle panels or something all at once, go ahead and go to your local lumber yard, grab you a few of the 2x4s that I mentioned before, set that stuff aside. Next week you get paid. Purchase a rabbit cage or a cattle panel or a tarp. Get online, purchase some waters, feeders, and just collect it as you go if you can't afford to do everything all at once. Cages are going to run you around $35 a piece. Your cattle panels are about $35 a piece. You'll need 2 of them if you're going to do a setup like mine. Your bunnies, you can expect that you can get these bunnies anywhere from $10 to $50 a piece, depending on your local market and who you're buying them for and the breed of them. My breeders are mixed with a silver fox rabbit, and I just added some New Zealand rabbits to my rabbitry. That's why I needed more cages, along needing a cage for this guy here. I'm gonna put this guy up real quick. This is a New Zealand white rabbit. This, along with the silver fox, is one of the best rabbit breeds in my opinion. This is a tame little guy too. I met a fellow at the flea market named Chuck, and I purchased a few of these from him. He gave me a really good deal along with the cage. So I was able to pick these up. They're not quite breeding age or anything, so they got a little time to be able to grow up and get larger before I can add them into my breeding schedule here on the homestead. Again, same with getting a new buck. Now I have me some new does to add in there so I can get some crossbreeding going on, so I'm not inbreeding. Keep my rabbits nice and healthy. If you have any questions about this rabbitry, cages, any kind of setup that I have going on in here, anything like that, just comment down below and I'll get back to you as good as I can. And if I don't have an answer to your question, I'll refer you to another video or channel or somebody that can answer your questions. Appreciate you watching Pine Ridge Homestead. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. Y'all have a good day.